This is Witchspace News for Friday the 5th of December 2025. I'm Commander Burr. In a bumper Elite Dangerous news this week, war erupts between the superpowers around HIP 87621 but no one is entirely sure why. Bug squashes and exploit fixes arrive alongside the early access release of the Caspian Explorer, and some much sought after paint jobs appear on the store again alongside multiple free Christmas giveaways. If you enjoy our videos, consider subscribing to the channel and remember to ding the little bell to make sure you see all our content and community posts. And if you'd like to help support our channel, links to our Patreon and everything else are in the description below. If by some entirely reasonable chance you haven't been keeping up with the latter stages of the story unfolding around HIP 87621, then allow me to quickly just fill in some blanks for you with a very abridged too long didn't read. The large blue glowing exobiological trees called Radicoida unica in 87621 exhibit some sort of unique biochemical property, the importance of which is yet to be revealed. But the superpowers believe it to be of such importance that they've now slipped into open warfare over it in the region, all vying for control of the Enclave and thereby securing access to the Radicoida trees. 1 week ago, when the war erupted, a 2-week community goal was launched by each superpower to encourage commander participation in the conflict. That's essentially 4 community goals, but you have to be aligned to a Powerplay leader to support them, and you can only participate in one of the goals. But there's a pre-engineered multi-cannon reward for basic participation and an extra one of the units for reaching the top 75% of participants. The CG however is just a sweetener for the main course power struggle around the Enclave, which is set to continue after the CG ends next week. To support the start of the power struggle, new blue target icons were introduced to the galaxy map in the Enclave zone to indicate which systems your chosen superpower had currently targeted for undermining actions. Initially the Enclave struggle opened with a possible 5 systems. This has since been reduced to a maximum of 3. Also, since the battle started, a second set of icons, red warning signs, have been introduced to indicate systems in the Enclave where reinforcement actions by your power are being directed to counter attacks from rival powers. In both sets of systems it is feasible for a space Powerplay conflict zone to appear, but there are a myriad of other activities that can be engaged in to affect the required influence, lists of which you can find on the Galactic Map Powerplay filter when you highlight one of the systems. Messages received to the in-game inbox seem to indicate that some degree of success in the Enclave on a superpower level will grant access to a pre-engineered Powerplay module at some future point, but the quantity and specific nature of that Powerplay module hasn't been revealed. Neither, for that matter, has the true value of the Radicoida trees or the consequences of failing to secure access to them for a given power. We also don't know any more about the whereabouts of the missing scientist, Torra. The last major conflict to embroil the galaxy was obviously the Thargoid War. That was a clear us versus them thing, humanity versus a terrifying alien threat. As a community we weren't concerned with the specific flavour of humanity. The lines of division between us and the encroaching antagonistas were very clear. The reason we were defending ourselves and our people were likewise very clear. It was a pure existential threat that had to be defeated. In many regards this event seems oddly diluted and somewhat backloaded for a community-wide effort. We're being tasked to participate in a potentially huge galactic conflict with little to no knowledge of the goals of that conflict, the consequences for defeat or the nature of the MacGuffin that sparked the war in the first place. I'd dearly love to be able to tell you the consequences of your powers actions or inactions, why you might want to care about what's happening in the Enclave and what's in it for you at the end of all this, but currently we're all in the situation of not really knowing the answer to any of those things. It's the galactic equivalent of a stranger telling you, go kick that guy in the shins and I might give you a reward. I'll tell you why and how much the reward is after you've done it. If you're the kind of player that is invested in Powerplay and you care about where on the map your particular flag is being placed, then the Enclave Battle will almost certainly appeal regardless. If you're not, however, and Frontier's intention was to make you care, then I'm not sure that this event alone will convince you otherwise. With that said, it's an engaging enough something to do that will almost certainly carry you through Christmas and the New Year, and the amount of merits on offer will help you sail through the Powerplay levels, gaining shed tons of materials for both on foot and in space, and unlocking access to those otherwise impossible to obtain Powerplay modules. Those two rewards alone are absolutely worth the input if you haven't yet got to them. The Enclave themed community goal ends next week on the 11th of December. The battle for the Enclave itself will likely rage for some few weeks yet at the very least. As you're almost certainly aware, this week saw the ARC's early access launch of the final of the 4 new ships to enter the game this year, the Caspian Explorer. As is the tradition with a new ship, the Caspian launched with a snazzy and impressive showcase trailer, which you can find linked below if you haven't yet seen it. But FDEV's launch of the ship stopped short this time of creating a dedicated web page for the vessel, as they have with some of the previous launches. I suspect, as great as those pages were, they're quite a lot of effort for not a lot of views. The Caspian instead has a much more efficient and, I'd imagine, altogether more likely to be seen abbreviated stats, video and screenshot section usefully on the bottom of its store page. As we've reported previously, the Caspian is capable of supporting the new ablative armour types that facilitate steeper entries down from orbital cruise to a planet's surface. An issue which potentially allowed for some unintended resistances around the use of the Mark II ablative mirrored surface composite was picked up before the ship hit the stores, and FDEV have noted in the patch that the Mark II mirrored surface armour has been removed temporarily, awaiting a fix which they're intending to deploy next week. Also, as if to serve an important timely reminder, as has been the case with almost all the previous new ships, what appears in the partner preview of a new ship is not necessarily the same as what will launch when the ship goes live. The fuel economy of the Caspian was improved significantly in the live release over what was seen by partnered channels, and the SRV now launches forward into clear, unobstructed terrain rather than backward into the waiting entrance ramp. For its early access release, the Caspian is available in 3 flavours: Standard, Stellar and Galactic, coming in at 19,020, 38,000 and 69,000 ARCs respectively. As well as unlocking the ship for purchase at in-game shipyards, the Standard gives an instantly deployable E-rated build of the ship with no extras. The Stellar delivers a similarly deployable A-rated build, as well as a paint job and the Voyage ship kit. The Galactic edition includes everything in the Stellar edition, as well as another paint job, the Deep Space ship kit and the Lodestar blue holographic kit, and all 3 ships in the early access period come with a Caspian Owners Club decal. There were also a number of bug fixes and crashes resolved alongside the update, including an exploit that allowed the de-orbit glide phase of a planetary landing to be skipped altogether. As always, if you want to check out the full patch notes, you'll find them linked in the description below this video. Off the back of the Caspian Explorer launch, and as though we weren't well catered for on the community goal front already, a further community goal launched this week, seeking to gather exobiological data. The Zorgon Peterson sponsored CG, which doesn't require the use of a Caspian Explorer, is running out of Davies High starport in the Riort system and requires exobio data gathered via the genetic sampling tool built into the Artemis spacesuit to be delivered. As well as the usual credit rewards tied to the overall success of the goal, any participant in the goal will receive a Beyond Carnelian paint job for the Caspian and a Zorgon Peterson decal. The goal started on the 2nd of December and will run for 2 weeks, finishing on Tuesday the 16th of December. All through the run up to Christmas until the 22nd of December, Frontier will be periodically adding to a growing number of free cosmetic giveaways that you can claim on the Frontier store. There's a dedicated page on the store for the festive giveaway, so you don't need to hunt for the items, and we've linked to that page below. And all the items will remain free on the store until the 8th of January next year, so you have plenty of time to claim them at your leisure when crawling out from under a mountain of wrapping paper, nursing a hangover or emerging from some sort of food coma. Elsewhere through the festive period, partnered streamers are offering snowfall icicle themed paint jobs as free Twitch drops on their channels. Watch a partnered stream on Twitch for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes to earn paint jobs for the Anaconda, Crate Phantom, Diamondback Explorer and Type 9 respectively. We've linked to the page about the drops in the description below, where it tells you how to link your Twitch and Frontier accounts, and it also handily contains a list of all the partnered Elite Dangerous content creators to date. On the subject of not free cosmetics however, and you might want to brace both yourself and your arcs balance if you're waiting on this, gold, golden, chrome and chromed are not only back on the store, but most of them are on sale right now for 50% off. Those paint jobs are also now available new to the store for the crop of this year's very latest ships, the Panther Clipper, Type 11 and the Caspian Explorer. If you can't find the paint job you're looking for on the web store, then hunt them down through the in-game interface. We couldn't find the Caspian in Chrome on the web when we looked, but it is there if you look in-game, so it's worth checking both no matter what you're after, just in case. And while we're on the subject, this is the question we get asked all the time, and it's not super clear in the game or on the web interface. The golden and chromed paint jobs have a brushed metal finish in their respective colours, and it's the gold and chrome ones that have the super shiny mirrored surface finish. Just to be sure you know what you're stumping up for before you commit your hard earned arcs. Are you kicking some random guy's shins for the CG with no real clue as to why? Did you pick up some free cosmetics or a new shiny chrome or gold paint job? Or are you heading into the deep black in a nice new shiny Caspian Explorer? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back later this week with more videos. Until then, 07 Commanders, follow the greens on the way out and do keep clear of the toast rack. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.